Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Hi everyone. Sorry this is the last talk of the day, but I do promise it will be worth the wait. And then you can all go for a drink later. So thanks for that introduction, Tamsin. Today I'm talking about how you can use digital PR and link building in your SEO strategies, particularly if you're dealing with non-physical products, so insurance, banking, FS, money, anything like that. I work at Post Office. I've been with the business for over 4 years, and I've done quite a lot of insurance, boring type products. But prior to that, I did work in sort of the e-commerce, fashion, beauty stuff. So I have kind of seen it from both sides, really. So I'm hoping that my talk will help to energize your SEO strategies. If you've not done digital PR before, if you're doing content, this is also definitely going to be useful for you. And hopefully it will help you to be able to improve your visibility and your share of voice. So I came across this quote from Bill Gates, which I thought was very fitting, as Microsoft are the non-physical products known around the world. And he said, if I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations. So I thought that was really key. And I definitely agree. I think traditional and digital PR is really important, especially post-COVID. And then I came across this quote from John Mueller from Google, who's actually here today, where he talks about not really focusing on backlinking or link building. He says over-focusing on links will often result in you wasting your time doing things that don't make your website better overall. So I don't 100% agree with John. I do think that, you need to balance out your link building with your technical SEO, Core Web Vitals and your on-site content. I don't think you should ignore one or the other. So that's what I'll say on John's quote. So challenges. So I'm sure this is something that we're dealing with every day as search specialists. I'd say my 3 main challenges when I embarked on this at Post Office, which was about 2.5 years ago, with ease. So PR sign-off. So of course, you're going to a PR team asking to do digital PR, and that obviously doesn't technically sit with you. So that can get people's back up. They might feel like you're stepping on their toes. Also resource and UX. So who's going to create the content? Is it going to be the existing team? Are we going to outsource it? Can we create assets such as infographics, widgets, videos? And the answer was no, we couldn't do any of that. And then budget, who is going to pay for all this? And can we get it consistently? So for me, at Post Office, my budget was coming from the product team, and they're really supportive, particularly in the insurance space. They're very supportive of SEO. So they were quite sort of keen to try something which was going to help with our visibility, particularly on travel insurance, life insurance, that type of thing. So the way I got around that was basically sort of establishing a new way of working that would help us to collaborate across different teams and across different parts of the business. So I'd say the key main areas in your ways of working would be getting that stakeholder buy-in, your agency outreach. So if you're going to do outsource or if it's going to be in-house, and then if you are an agency who are working with a client, you're going to have to work very closely with the in-house team. So on the stakeholder side, I'd say going to these stakeholders such as your PR team, your content editorial team, those who are providing budget, and basically sort of saying, look, I want to try something new, maybe finding some case studies from the industry to demonstrate how it's worked for other people, and saying, look, I think this would be something we should definitely try. You're not trying to make their life any harder, not trying to give them any extra work, but you will need their buy-in, and you will need their collaboration and their support. So they will have to put some effort in, but you're going to basically do all the heavy lifting. And then on the outreach side, at Post Office, we do a mix. So we outsource the actual sort of survey questions, press releases, doing the outreach and the selling, we outsource that to an agency, but we work very closely with them. So we sign off their press releases. If they're going to write the copy, we'll sign off the copy. Sometimes we write the copy ourselves. And then if you're working, as I said, at an agency, it's sort of the same kind of messaging. It's just sort of in reverse. And you'll be probably dealing with the more in-depth analysis, and then also the PR worthiness and the media list creation, etc. So at Post Office, we did 6 campaigns on travel insurance. This was like a sort of a major investment that we received from the product team. So we did 6 campaigns under around a 12-month period. Up to 12 months we worked on this. And we spent about 80k across the 6 campaigns. So that's an average of about 13.3k per campaign. So very cost effective if you're looking at paid channels and things like that. And over that year, we found that we had a 10% uplift in our year-on-year traffic for the core term travel insurance. This is something that we target against, and we have, KPIs generally against this area. We found that we increased our share of voice. So because we'd had the position 1 uplift from position 2 to position 1, and we'd held it for around a year, we had a 27% increase in share of voice. So that's a really strong metric that you can call out internally. We had a great mix of coverage from various sites. So the average DA was about 61. So some good authority there. And we had an estimated 6.2 million views on the coverage. So really great for brand awareness and kind of reaching new people that may not know anything about Post Office travel insurance. And we gained over 700 pieces of coverage, and over 500 of those contained a link. So really pleased with that. So over the course of those 12 months, we had various themes that we used. So we did solo travel and gap year. We did a bucket list piece, digital nomads, which is all about working and traveling at the same time, also referred to as bleisure. And we did something about winter sun and winter sports, and then travel hacks as well. So we did a real mix. And we found that, we did improve rank. So we did go from position 2 to position 1. We held that for quite a while. We did dip back to position 2 again, and then we went back up to 1. So there was a bit of a fluctuation because we are competing with aggregators such as Compare the Market and Money Supermarket. So it's quite hard to compete against those sites. But we managed to do it. And we found that our backlink profile to the travel insurance product page had improved. So not only were we gaining links to our article pages, but we were also gaining links to our product page as well. So when we look back to around 2022, we definitely had significantly lower links than we did in 2023 and beyond. So we're really pleased with that. And then from a ranking and CTR perspective, as I said, we did improve rank, holding position 1. And we found that we had a year-on-year increase in our CTR for the term travel insurance. So we went from around 3.3% CTR on that keyword to over 4% CTR. And also impressions for that keyword had gone up as well. So here's one we did earlier. This is the piece on digital nomads. So it was quite an emerging topic. It wasn't something that was kind of widely being done by our competitors, but it's something that we came across when we did keyword research and we were looking at trends. And this is a growing area. A lot of people are working and traveling abroad at the same time. They might, go away for 3 months, 6 months while working. Something I would definitely do if I wasn't a mum. I would love to do that. And we gained 166 pieces of coverage. Most of those contained the backlink, so that was great. We also had over 1 million views. So that was, the reach that we were getting there, brand awareness wise. And we had quite a lot of coverage that were coming from regional sites. So we had over 150 pieces of coverage from regional sites. And here's some of the coverage that we received. So Daily Star, Mail Online, also some print coverage as well. And I thought I'd include this. This is an example of something that we did on pet insurance. So we sort of replicated, the learnings that we got from travel insurance, and we've used it in other areas as well. So pet insurance, we did a piece using survey data on a brand new article around the cost of being a pet parent. And we ran it twice. So we used it in 2023 and then earlier this year. We gained over 160 pieces of coverage. Most of those had a backlink, and most of those came from regional sites. So 157 regional sites posted. So if you do have any pet-related products, do reach out to the regional sites, because clearly they love a story around pets. Investment in KPIs. So this is definitely going to be key for us as search marketeers or digital marketeers. I'd say definitely that old chestnut about under-promising and under-delivering is key here. I'd say on average, your article, a campaign is going to cost around maybe from 10k onwards. So if you want to make it a bigger piece where maybe you're doing paid social, maybe some real content marketing using native and just amplification, you could be spending up to 50k on one campaign. But if it's going to be a bit more conservative, you could be spending about 5 to 10k to start with. I'd say on your coverage and backlink targets, starting on around 20 to 30 pieces of coverage as your target would be a good way to start. You're probably going to generate more, but I think it's just always good to be conservative. And then in terms of other metrics and KPIs that you'd be looking to do, I'd say splitting your keyword target between commercial keywords and long tail keywords is key, because you're going to want to rank for your article, which is going to be more the kind of, long tail secondary keywords. And then you're going to want to then see if, you may be able to improve rank on your commercial keywords. And then in the metrics side, there's so many things that you could be measuring against. But to summarize, I'd say your brand search impressions is a good one to do. So around the time of launch, you might see that your brand keyword impressions might go up. Searches for the brand term might go up. CTR, share of voice, is a good one to have a KPI against. And then referral traffic. So that will be more so around the time of activation. So looking to see if you have any traffic or any sales coming from the coverage itself. So Adobe or GA will be able to help you with that. And then next page data is really important. So did you get any engagement or movement between your article page and your product page, or from the product page to your home page? So all of these things are great to use as KPIs. So here's an example of a keyword that we ranked for. So in the digital nomads piece that I showed earlier, we weren't ranking for anything on this term. We didn't have any content on this area at all. And with the article that we created, we began to rank for digital nomad insurance at position 5. And we ranked for variations around this topic. So that was a nice one that we were able to call out internally. In terms of process, I think there's 5 key areas. So planning, ideation, content, launch, and measure. So we talked a bit about the KPIs earlier. Ideation is a whole thing, which I will go into in a second. But research in terms of your keywords, what's being done on the competitor side, and what's PR worthy, those would all feed into your ideation. Content creation, looking at what you can repurpose on the website, what's already performing well, and then looking at any new areas around content gaps is definitely important on the ideation and content creation. Launch, I think timing is really key. So working really closely with your PR team and your agency to understand when is a good time to go out. Having a really strong media list. So you want to balance your domain authority of the websites versus the actual types of websites. So was it regional, trade, national, any kind of specialist sites is really important. And then doing some planned reactive work if you can. So we all know that there's certain things that happen seasonally. So it could be that, every year there's a budget from the government, there's seasonal peaks in travel. There's boiler season where people are turning on their boilers, which I believe is a certain time in October. So there's all these kind of key areas in your businesses that you'll know the nuances of, and you can time your campaigns around those, and then have some reactive data available that can be sent out to journalists. You don't need to create an article. If you're working with PR, they can create media lists and get the word out there. So that's a nice way to get extra coverage. And then link reclamation. So if you, again, time and budget permits, if you're getting any coverage and there is no link included, if you can go back to that site within the first 24 hours, maybe maximum 48 hours, and ask for a link, they might say no, but it's worth a try. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And then measure, this is a process. So measuring in the, looking at what is actually happening when you're first launching. So the first couple of days of launch, you'll be looking at coverage, any backlinks you're getting. Then you're kind of building that up over time. So maybe after the first 3 months, over a year, you can then build a really strong wrap-up report that you'll be able to use and circulate around the business. So here's an example of repurposed content. So we had an old article called When to Buy Travel Insurance. It went live in 2022, was just an evergreen piece, wasn't linked to any type of PR activity. And we felt that would be a really good quick win that we could use to put in an angle around bucket list travel. So we did a survey, we created a press release, and we were able to then include the link for this article in the press release, and then we went out to press with that. So we gained a really good amount of coverage. We had over 180 pieces of coverage. The majority of those were linking, with 149 sites linking. Again, over 1 million estimated views that we got to the coverage. And we had a lot of interest from the regional press. So clearly regional press love insurance stories. And here's some examples from the Telegraph and the Herald, where we got coverage from. So as I said, ideation is a thing. I'd say research, competitor analysis, and PR worthiness are the main 3 areas in this space. Keyword research, it can be a mix of, the kind of traditional keyword research using SEMrush, any of those tools, Google Trends, but then also using tools like BuzzSumo is a great one. You can look at content that's being shared. Did it get any social shares? Has it got any backlinks? What are your competitors doing? All of this stuff is going to help you to identify themes in the industry. Any customer insights that you can use are great. And then all of this can help you to feed into survey questions that you can go out to market with. So typically at Post Office, we tend to survey about 2,000 people when we do our digital PR. And then reviewing the content of your competitors and looking at their backlink profile will help give you an idea about what could work for you. And then tying that all back to the PR worthiness. So again, working with your PR agency or your internal team on PR to understand, okay, when is the best time to go out? Because they're going to have their own media plan. So you're sort of trying to marry up your digital PR plan with theirs so that there's no oversaturation, because that's a problem as well when you oversaturate if there's too much messaging going out. So here's some results from a content audit that we did. So content auditing, I would definitely recommend doing that every year. It really helps to reveal opportunity. We did a audit using a 12-month period, and we had various metrics. So we basically had a scoring system that we used, and it helped us to group up our content between medium, high and low. And we found that 89 of our articles were kind of on the medium side. They needed a bit of a boost. And then the rest of them were high or low. And this helped us to identify what stories that we could use in our digital PR and which ones we could refresh just from an evergreen perspective, and then which ones we could potentially merge or remove. Useful tools. So I touched on this a little bit earlier. So definitely BuzzSumo, as I said, SEMrush, Ahrefs is definitely going to be key for looking at your backlink coverage. If you're working with an agency on PR or even on your internal side of things, they'll have tools that they can use in terms of actually tracking the coverage. But you'll want to obviously look at the SEO tools as well. And then in terms of the kind of PR, media list, social listening tools, tools like Rockseal or Cision are really good ones in terms of putting together your media list and finding what journalists would be interested in the stories. And then on the social listening side, Brandwatch and Talkwalker are great for understanding what people are talking about on TikTok, X, Facebook, etc. So definitely tap into all of those areas. Speaking impact. So I think getting the word out is really important, especially when this is an SEO initiative, right? So you're sort of trying to demonstrate the impact in the beginning. So when you first go live with the activity, any coverage you're getting, any wins really, and then building that out. So after maybe 6 months, 12 months, going back to the business and saying, look, we did all these campaigns over the last 6 to 12 months. Cumulatively, this is the impact we're seeing. This is the coverage. This is, we're seeing an improvement on our rankings, share of voice, all of that. So you can go to the business, and I think putting yourself out there is always great. So if you can speak in any huddles, any town halls, any stand-ups, wider team meetings, definitely do that. So in summary, my final thoughts would be to give digital PR a go. You might need to really put a bit of a business case together, but it is worth doing it. I think once you're off the ground, there will be some test and learn. I think you need to be patient. Sometimes you don't always get coverage straight away. I mean, at Post Office, we didn't get a lot of coverage in the very beginning. I think the first year or so, we didn't get much coverage from what we were doing. But we've been doing it 3 years. So I'd say by the end of year 2, we were getting some really good coverage. And now we're in year 3, and we've been given budget to do more. So I definitely recommend just being on the grind with it. Do follow me. I'm on LinkedIn and X. I'm at Shelley Appiah. My slides will be available on the brightonSEO speakers section, and do reach out to me. Happy to chat here, or if you want to reach out on LinkedIn. It'd be good to hear your PR stories, digital PR learnings, and useful sources. I'd say Hannah Smith's newsletter, The Wordiest, is great. The Grapevine and PR Insider are really good for PR type of inspiration. And then, of course, on the kind of typical SEO information and updates, I'd recommend Alida Solis's SEO FOMO. She's actually got on her YouTube a talk about digital PR, but it's about 1.5 years old, but it's definitely worth checking out. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and now you can have a drink.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.